Miniart 1/35 Grant Mark 1. Let's start the build and make a tow rope. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here it's good to have you with us. Right, so in this episode we are going to stick some plastic to plastic, stick some brass to plastic, and make a homemade tow rope. So stick around, that'll be coming up later. There's even a cheeky bench reveal as well. So here we go, cutting the first bits off the sprue in order to start this build of this amazing tank. Once all the bits are cleaned up, it goes together really easily. The bottom base plate is in two parts, which just stick together, and then the side pieces go on, followed by the front and then the back. Took a bit of manhandling to get it to sit right, but it's not too bad. It goes together okay. And obviously this is if you get this right, then the rest of the tank will just should just fall together, really. But it's all about getting this base square and getting it all pushed together nice and tight. So you'll see me going backwards and forwards with the Tamiya Extra Thin, and just getting it all to be gap free and nice firm bonds. So I'm not going to show you the whole process because I personally find the build videos quite boring, so I'll just keep skipping about. But this is the back bit going on, and again it all fits together really nicely. Do need quite a bit of glue just to make sure, but lots of pushing and squeezing, and it should go together so that there are no gaps anywhere. So the first bit of Photo-etch, these are the two brackets that hold the rear lights onto the tank. Very simple, just one fold in each of them. If you haven't got one of these folding tools, then I recommend you get one because they're really useful for getting nice straight folds. You see, I've had mine for a while because it's covered in paint. But yeah, it's definitely worth investing in. You just put the piece onto there, slide it in until it's in line with the score on the surface of the brass. Line it up, clamp it down nice and tight, and then with I use my knife there, just hold it up along the line. And you should get perfect lines along the crease. And then with the different sizes of prongs on the other sides, you can do different folds and that sort of thing. It takes a while to get used to it and work out where the fold is and which way you've got to do it. But this device really makes it easy. And then once they're both folded, they get glued onto this small panel. You can see the left hand one I've already done. So just a tiny dab of super glue. Of that I'm using a blunt hypodermic needle, just pushed onto the end of an old paintbrush. And then just with a pair of tweezers, get it lined up and drop it on. This is very cheap super glue, but it works really quickly. So the light is already on there. And yeah, it sets really quickly. So you really only have one shot to do it. One or two shots, there we go. And then just press it down. And then that's a really good bond. And then they can be put into place on the rear of the tank. They go just either side of the grill there, just either side of the exhaust. Okay, so that's the lower hull pretty much done. There isn't an interior to this tank, but I will paint the interior white, just so any doors and hatches that I left open, you can see inside. Okay, so the next bit is just some panels to cover the holes next to the engine. And again, they go together very simply. They just drop into place, and then with some Tamiya Extra Thin, they get held in. Okay, let me show you how I made the tow rope. I took about, I don't know, what's that, 30 centimetres, maybe a bit more, 34 gauge beading wire, which is 0.22 mils, and I took 3 lengths of that, made sure they were all about the same length, And this is really nice, thin, flexible wire. And I'm trying to replicate real tow ropes. This is how real tow ropes are made, I guess. And one more should do it. Obviously, if you want a thicker rope, you can do more. So 3 lengths, about 30 centimeters, give or take. It will shrink down, so we want 14.5 centimeters in total. I'm now going to fold it, so that's 6 strands. And then what I'll do is just take the loose ends and just twist them together a little bit. Get them all lined up. Twist them together just so that they hold. I'm then going to take my cutters and just trim them down so they're all the same length. Push them into my pin vise. And tighten that up. Just so it's got a nice firm grip. And get rid of the excess. And then what I've done is I've put a hook on my toolbox. Whoa, sorry about the mess, guys. That's how I work. And then slowly turn the pin vise, keeping pressure applied, pulling away from the toolbox, and then tighten it up until it looks like a tow rope, basically. Now that should do. Unclip it. Oh, zoom in. And then now you can see a nice natural twist to it that looks just like a tow rope would. And again, you can vary it, you can make it tighter or looser. And then remove it from the pin vise and just trim both ends. And then there you go. Because it's beading wire, it's got a nice flexibility to it, but also it will stay in position when you mould it to the shape that you want on the tank. The next thing I do is take the ends that came with the kit, and then just again use my pin vise, just drill a hole, trying to make sure that I keep it perfectly central through the towing hook, and then we can super glue the tow rope into the ends, and then we can put it onto the model. And then there you go, that was the tow rope. So I think It possibly could have been a bit wider in diameter, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Alright, so now on some Photo-etch on the engine cover. I'm just showing you here the tie downs for the Pioneer tools. So you push the strap under the retaining pieces, I guess, and then fold it round the shovel. And these are going to act as like leather straps holding the tools down. So fold it over, and then just a dab of super glue underneath holding it in place. They look really effective. They're a lot simpler than I thought they were going to be, and I think once they're painted up, they can look really, really good. Although I'm going to have to get my leather belt painting skills up to scratch to deal with these to make them look good. Right, so here's the tow rope going in. Super gluing it as I go. It gets retained on these little like brackets that hold it in place. So just dab of super glue, hold it in place, and then on to the next one. There's a full sort of 1.5 turns around the engine cover, and then the ends are tied down with the same leather straps as the shovel. Looks really effective, and it's going to paint up really well, I think. So there you go, that's how far I got in a weekend. It took me a lot longer than I thought. Loads and loads of Photo-etch. Thoroughly enjoyable though. Next time hopefully we'll finish the build. Should be able to paint the interior, and then we'll see how far we get. So join me then, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. And thanks again for watching, guys. It really does mean a lot. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.